friends, this is Dana from Mimi's Little City Homestead, and I'm going to show you on here how I made a birthday cake for my grandson this past weekend. He's 12 years old and he wanted a space theme, so I used edible fondant and made him an astronaut, and then I used a glaze to make a mirrored cake glaze. This is super fun and anybody can do these. So to begin the astronaut, we're going to work on his suit first. This is going to be his legs and his pants, and I'm just taking my fondant. I decided to use a pearl fondant, so it's a little bit gray, a light gray, not quite silver. And we're just going to make the lines in the suit. You can see that it's bulky on both sides, just pressing in a little bit at a time. And then what we're going to do is set this up on our cake pan to have his legs bent down, so like he's sitting, and shape him onto the cake pan so that we can have him sitting on the cake when he's drier. So I've got my cake pan sitting here, and the legs I just rolled a long piece, kind of flatten the bottoms up so I can hook feet to them. This is his legs sitting on the cake, so I'm going to sit him on the pan to get him started and have him bent where I want him to be. So the back of him is up here pretty good because there's going to be feet hanging and making him a little bit longer. And I've got a piece I rolled out here, and I'm just going to go through and kind of give it a little bit of a design, some little dots on the outside edge of it. If you have a plastic set, I do have a plastic set, but I just grabbed these. So this is a pin, and it's a little easier to use the plastic set because it makes bigger holes without having to move it around too much, but it's just for looks. This is going to go over his pants and up his legs for the front of his suit on the leg part. So we're going to take that off and just kind of place this over the legs. Kind of like that. Don't know if you can see that very well, but then we're going to set him back up here on the cake pan and let him sit there while we go on to the next part. Now I just have a pie silicone on top of a cutting board just to keep it. I don't want to roll it on the cutting board. I would need cornstarch, and I don't want to get cornstarch all over it and then have to dust it off. We're just going to do it on the silicone mat. It's pretty much non-stick that way. Then we're going to do the next part, and I'll bring you back when we're getting ready to roll that out. Same kind of fondant, the pearl fondant, we're going to shape and roll out. So now after I've gotten my astronaut legs and suit bottom done, I'm going to go to another fondant that I just bought a small package of because I don't need that much, and that is silver fondant, and that's what I'm going to use for his trim, the bottom of his shoes, around his cuffs and tops of his shoes, and the cuffs on his arms. So that is silver, and I'm making his feet or his boots out of white fondant or the pearl fondant. So the shoes are white. Underneath the shoes, I'm going to put some silver, and this will also be part of the trim on the top. So what we need, this is not the one we need for silver, sorry. This is the silver to go underneath the shoes. So first we're going to make the shoes kind of flat, a little bit roundish in the front, but longer like a shoe. So shaped like this a little bit, with the rounder front, and then we'll match it up to his legs, which I'll do over here. That's about right. I think I'll make them a little bit longer. They stick out the front a little bit more. So this is the shape of the shoe and the width of it, and we're going to go do the next pearl one the same way. Okay, so the astronaut's legs are here. I've already made one of his shoes or his boots, and I'll show you how I did that. The middle part of his shoe, and just give it some slashes in it to make it look like fabric that's wrinkled. Push it in pretty good because it comes back out if it's too light, but you can adjust it and go back over it again later. And on the top part also, Don't worry if it changes shape a little bit, because you can just mold it back into the right shape once you get done doing this and you're putting the shoe together. This is the bottom of the shoe, and we're going to do the same thing. Just kind of give it some slashes in there, some marks. And then I'm going to take this, using a paintbrush, just put a little bit of damp water on top, don't overdo it, and then line it up. Set your top shoe on. Bring this part out just a little bit over the top of the silver. Then I flattened a ball, just round, and we're going to give it the same thing. Do the same thing with the water on top of the shoe, the boot. I keep calling it shoe. It's a boot. Astronaut boot. And then put your circle on. And this is just a round circle. And then when it's dry, you're going to put a toothpick up underneath, and you're going to put each boot at the bottom of the leg. Toothpick just like that for now, so it doesn't fall off. Actually, I'm going to put some water. Forgot to put a little bit of water on top here to help that stick. Then I'm going to take this box of staples, is about the right size, I think. I'm going to push that toothpick up in there where it goes and put the box of toothpicks underneath it to kind of hold on to that foot from falling off. And we're going to do the same thing with this one. Put a little bit of water on top. Make sure you put your toothpick up the center, as close to the center as possible. Same thing with the leg. Get that toothpick in the center as much as possible. Your leg down on top of that, same as you did the other one. Try to scooch them together best you can. It'll be a little sticky because you just put water on it. So just try not to let it get stuck to your fingers where you're pulling it apart. Boots onto your legs. Now I've taken a round ball and kind of rolled it around and smoothed it out best I could, and then shaped it so, you know, it's a roundish here, not too flat, and then give it a little bit of a flatter bottom, not too flat, just round it a little bit so it looks like a body. You're going to put a belt around that. Then you're going to push here a little bit flat where you're going to eventually attach the arms, and a little bit flat on this top so you can put his space helmet on. Try to make the body as close to what it should look like according to the length of the legs, and then take this again, go around your astronaut suit, the front, the top, give it the wrinkles over here, and do this on the side of the back. You just want it to look as wrinkly as you can get it. You can always add more wrinkles once you get it on if you don't think it has enough. And then again, we're going to take a toothpick and put it right about the center there till it touches the pan. Put a tiny bit, the less water that you can get by with, the better, because you don't want it dripping all over and being really soggy. So then we're going to just make sure that's in the center, best as you can get it. Push his torso down, and then kind of adjust it from there This is where the arms are gonna go on. This is a little flat for the helmet. Leaning, make sure he's straight up and down. If he's leaning one way or the other too much, the helmet won't stay on as nice. And then you can go back over this again and see where some of our wrinkles came out. So we're just gonna put some more back in here. Make sure he's sitting up okay. Then I have, for the helmet, I have a round piece, as round as I could get it, and smooth, with just a slightly flat bottom and a small circumference, about that big around, that much is flat. And then if you look at it, and it looks nice and round, doesn't look too odd shaped. I'm trying to make it so it's roundish on top. And then we're gonna take a toothpick and go into the torso. Put a little water on the helmet bottom. Aim for the center. And then look at it. Does it look like it's about the size of the torso? Because the helmet is big. That's not his head, it's the helmet. So it needs to be a little large also. If it looks like it's pushing down too much or your guy's getting too short, you can always push on his torso and build him up a little bit taller, like that. And then we're gonna let it dry like this overnight. And then tomorrow we'll add on the arms, finish the helmet, and put the patches on the body part and the hoses. In the meantime, I have a little patch for this leg, or pocket, whatever you want to call it. And then another one for this leg. You can make them whatever shape or size you want. This is what I've got for this one. And then just use your fingers to flatten out edges, shape it however you want to, make it look like it's laying flat on his outfit. So remember, you don't want him leaning too forward or too far back. If he is leaning one way or another, try to stand him up without pressing him down. And if you need to, find something to prop up the back so he doesn't fall backwards. You know, you can lean him toward the back till he's straight and then put something just behind him enough to keep him from wanting to fall. He should stay up pretty good though. So we're gonna go this way a little. So look at him from all angles. Make sure you feel like he's straight up and down. He's not leaning left or right. He's not leaning forward or backwards, as straight as you can get it. And you can always take him apart. If you think the body is not big enough, you can always make him a new one. That's totally up to you. But I'm just gonna adjust him and play with it until I think that he looks like he's sitting straight up and down, which that looks good to me right there. So we'll leave him like this overnight, and we'll come back tomorrow and work on his arms. This is not, let's see, this is Friday, so Saturday we're gonna work on it, and then Sunday is the party. So this will give him a night to dry the major big parts, and then tomorrow night we'll dry the arms and he'll be ready to put on the cake on Sunday. Then I'm gonna show you how I'm decorating the cake to look like it's a galaxy and that he's sitting on top of the galaxy. Although I didn't show you every single step, I just kept on with the figure the way I was going by adding parts, different colors. Also, I will show you how to make the mirrored cake glaze. When you see it, you'll see that it looks like a galaxy with different colors in it. It's actually a pour-over glaze, and it's very easy to do. So we'll do that for our next video on how to. And if you like these kind of videos and you want to learn more about cake decorating, leave me a comment below and we'll look into some other things that we can do to make adult cakes and children's cakes. A lot of it sounds hard, but it really isn't. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video, guys.